So I used to be the queen of designer collaborations. I've even gone as far as camping outside before the store opened, but now I'm kind of over them. I know I can't be the only person feeling this way. So I want to talk about what I think of the current state of designer collaborations, what value, if any, I think is still in them, and if I personally will be buying them going forward. Let's get started. All right, moment of transparency. I am currently wearing a designer collaboration. I'm wearing a sweater from the Kahlana Barfield brown collaboration with Target. By the time this video drops, it would have been 2 weeks since it's dropped. Currently, this sweater is not online. I found one in my store. I've only been seeing influencers wearing them, but I do know that it's gonna be coming out. I absolutely love it. I'll definitely talk about this line and other Target collaborations in this video, but I didn't want to be a hypocrite and people be like, you got a designer collaboration on. I'm also wearing some pieces from artist Nina Chanel's collaboration with Nike Air Jordan. It was the Air Jordan 2, love it. I'm rooting for everybody black. Also, yes, I did change my hair. I will try to edit out all the times I flip it, play with it, but know that it's happening. If you have any questions about my hair or anything else, leave them in the comments. I am planning to do a video celebrating my monetization, also hitting over 1,000 subscribers, but leave me your questions. So my biggest issue really with designer collaborations are they're no longer special. I remember back in the day when designer collaborations were announced, I would go through the lookbook, come up with a list of items I would want to buy. I've even done a couple of videos about designer collaborations. I was that girl. Now I'm just like, whatever. For the Kahlana Barfield Brown launch, I was not one of those girls that set my alarm and woke up at 2 or 3 in the morning to buy things online. Nope. There's a big Target on the south loop of Chicago that I knew was gonna have the drop. It opened at 8 o'clock. I got there around 8:30, almost 9 o'clock, and I just showed up and walked around to see things. That's how laissez-faire I am about it. I do feel like there's an oversaturation in the designer collaboration market, and there are so many different types. I'm gonna link a video in the description from Cassie, and in that video, she talks about all the different types of luxury designer collaborations. For me, I'm not gonna go deep into the luxury designer collaborations because I think she talks about them well, and I think luxury designer collaborations are in a different level where I don't think they're as saturated just because you're dealing with luxury brands. And by luxury designer collaborations, I'm talking about Fenty, the Gucci Balenciaga hack. Those types of big houses doing luxury collaborations are not something that we're gonna see more than once a year. But if you go down 1 or 2 levels, we are now swimming through designer collaborations. It's a lot. The market is very, very oversaturated with these types of lines. I think the place where I'm feeling the most fatigue is with brands doing a collaboration with a mass market retailer like a Target, an H&M. I do feel like H&M has kind of backed off a little bit, but Target, I love Target, but Target's gonna get some smoke today. I've mentioned in a previous video that the reason brands do designer collaborations is because brands want to access a customer that they don't currently have access to. The first designer collaboration that I ever purchased was Jimmy Choo times H&M. If you think back to 2009, they did not have online drops. You had to stand in line in the store. I was probably somewhere between customer 50 to 100 to get in the store. And by the time I got in the store was trashed. In addition to a lot of things just being purchased, a lot of people were hoarding things in dressing rooms. It was a mess. But I look back now and I'm like, the good old days. At least at that time, the quality was there. It was a new novel thing. We were just trying to get a piece of Jimmy Choo. I know for myself, I was young at the time and I didn't own a pair of Jimmy Choos. I loved the shoes. So going to H&M to try to get a pair of shoes designed by Jimmy Choo was like a no-brainer. I was in like Jen. I was the customer that Jimmy Choo was trying to get a hold of. I know a lot of people use that bread example, like there's room for everybody. There is, but when it comes to clothing, we know that we're making too many clothes. That's a rant for another video. The oversaturation is also coming from the fact that there is now a new type of designer collaboration. So in the past, most collaborations were between an actual designer. For example, in 2020, Target did a designer collaboration with a bunch of actual designers. One of them was Christopher John Rogers. I did a video that I will link up there about all the items I wanted to purchase. You're dealing with a designer who actually could take their designs and maybe translate them into the mass market. For me, that's my favorite type of designer collaboration. Give me something high-end at a mid-market price. Chef kiss. I'm in love. I'm happy. Since the pandemic, I think the rise of the influencer collaboration has become very, very prevalent. I would consider the Kahlana Barfield Brown collaboration an influencer. She is a stylist. She used to be an editor for InStyle magazine, but she's not an actual designer. She basically just took her personal style, which is usually luxury items, and had it translated into designs and a price point that works at Target. I'm probably gonna get a lot of boos for this one, but this is very similar also with the Amazon The Drop. A lot of our favorite influencers like Hyla Lux, Karen Britchick, Sign Blake, and Monroe Steele, they've all done collaborations with Amazon The Drop. And in this situation, Amazon The Drop gives them a bunch of designs and they kind of customize them for their customer. These women are influencers, they're not actual designers. Essentially similar to what Kahlana Brown is doing. They're taking their personal style and translating it at a mass market retailer. They're what's making me feel like the game is oversaturated. It is what it is. The formula works. A lot of these influencers have hundreds of thousands of followers, maybe even 1 million or more. It makes sense that the people who like your style would like to dress like you. My biggest gripe with a lot of these influencer collaborations is that they aren't actually new designs. I remember with Christopher John Rogers, Gilman, Lily Latan, these are all designers. They have an existing brand, they have an aesthetic, they have actual designs that are unique to them that they can translate for us. I feel like the influencer is basically just taking some of their favorite outfits made by a higher end designer and creating dupes of it. I'd rather brands do collaborations with original designers and bring a designer's designs to the mass market rather than just my favorite influencer who's wearing Christopher John Rogers. Recently, Tabitha Brown, she's a vegan chef, she's an influencer. She did a line for Target. Her style is very reminiscent of brands like Farm Rio, who have a very bright, bold, bohemian aesthetic, and they should have went to somebody who actually does that well rather than an influencer who wears that design. But that's what's causing the oversaturation. Let me know what you think about these influencer collaborations. In addition to things being oversaturated, these designer collaborations don't sell out anymore. I think for most designer collaborations, the reason things aren't selling out is because people have just kind of lost interest. For the Gucci Adidas collaboration, that price was too high. The prices are very Gucci, but unfortunately the customers that they're trying to attract are very Adidas. I know in the past, luxury and streetwear collaborations like this have worked out. The streetwear consumer has gone up to the price point of the luxury brand, or it could be that in the past it was so novel that the luxury consumers wanted to own that piece of history. Not the case now. I know I'm an Adidas customer. I buy Yeezys. I buy other things from Adidas. I was not going to pay that. The pricing for most of it are things that I would have only spent on Gucci only, not Gucci and Adidas. If you're going to dilute the brand in this way, you can't always charge the higher end brand prices. Sometimes you can. It's worked. I know for Fenty and Skims, it seemed to work. For Gucci and Adidas, it did not. In terms of the mass market retailers, I feel like H&M collaborations are always a higher price than what you would see at an H&M, and the customers are willing to pay that. I have no problem paying $300 for a Jimmy Choo H&M collaboration dress or heel, no problem. But H&M comes out with items occasionally at $300, so their customer is not unaccustomed to that. I understand why a brand like a Target could not do that. I feel like Gucci, Balenciaga, whenever they collaborate with somebody, it has to be at their price point, which is fine. Your brand, you dictate, right? They would never come to a Target because that's never gonna work. Another thing that I'm noticing that's probably bothering me is maybe just the sheer size of these drops. If I think about the Jimmy Choo and H&M drop, it wasn't a small drop. It was very extensive. I don't feel like it had like 100 items. I do feel like it was a substantial size. I know that the Kahlana Barfield Brown collaboration has like 120 pieces that are gonna be, basically they're gonna have small drops up until November. It's a lot. Some of the designs are just the same item in a different color. Like I think the sweater comes in like a white with like a green stripe. You know, they probably could have picked one. I liked it in the past when they used to create what I would consider hero pieces. These are pieces that are special that if you saw them, you're like, oh, that's from the Jimmy Choo H&M collaboration. Like if you were to see some of the tank tops from Kahlana's collection, you wouldn't absolutely say that's from Kahlana's collection. You're just like, oh, that's a tank top. If it's a designer collaboration, I want special. Give me the piece that I will instantly know belongs to your collection. Don't give me a basic that I can get from anybody else. No offense, I can get a t-shirt, tank top from anywhere else. If these designer collaborations cut out that fluff, we could get back to designer collaborations that actually are of a reasonable size. 120 items is a lot, but I get it. There's money to be made. Sidebar, I don't want people to think that I'm knocking another woman's hustle, especially a Black woman's hustle. I'm using Black women as examples because those are the brands that I'm thinking of top of mind, but this is across the board. I understand everybody's doing it. I would like us all to stop. Like I said, I am talking about this collection. I am wearing this collection. Can we just get to the good stuff? Like, I don't need the filler. The next issue I've been having with all of these designer collaborations is the quality. So the reason I buy designer collaborations is that I can go to Target or I can go to H&M and get something that's a higher level than regular Target or regular H&M. I'm willing to pay extra money. I'm willing to stand on one foot, dance around in a circle, stand in line, whatever you want me to do. I feel like the H&M collaborations hold a special place in my heart and I do love them. I feel like the Target ones are a little bit more accessible to me because I go to Target all the time. Target is my store. I don't usually buy clothes at Target, but whenever there was a designer collaboration, I can always check it out because I'm already at Target getting toilet paper and paper towels anyways. That being said, the quality of Target collaborations was bomb. So I have this dress here from the Altazura collaboration with Target. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna put a picture. You know, the dress was $50. Okay, it's not the quality of a dress I would get at Neiman Marcus, but it's a very high quality dress. It's gorgeous. I'll have to look it up, but I believe this dress was either 2018 or 2019. I remember I had to go find the dress at a Target in the suburbs of Chicago, but once I got my dress, I was so happy. And of course, the John Christopher Rogers by Target collaboration will forever live in infamy. The quality of those dresses was ridiculous. I bought a few things from the other designers and they were worth the $50, but the quality of the Christopher John Rogers was next to none. If you've had the pleasure of touching these dresses, they feel expensive. They were like $50, $60. I would have paid more. So in terms of quality, I think H&M has stayed very consistent, but H&M has higher quality items. The leather dress that I brought from the Jimmy Choo H&M collaboration was like around $199. I've purchased things at H&M that wasn't really a designer collaboration for $200, $300. If I'm paying $200 for something at H&M, I know it's of a higher quality. It's more than likely wool or maybe even a cashmere. You know, maybe it's a pandemic thing. The quality is not the same. The Target quality has gone down, but I feel like that's because Target feels like their customers are only going to be willing to pay between $50 and $100. And I don't know, for this Kahlana Barfield Brown collaboration, I feel like the girls would have paid $100 for certain things. All in all, the line was decent. I felt like it was a little too large. There were too many basics that could have just been thrown out. There were some items that I wanted to love, like her jackets looked gorgeous on print. I love the reels that I see of it. In real life, it didn't live up to the hype. Most of her jackets, I felt like I could get a better quality jacket for $10 more at H&M. So why would I buy this jacket at Target? I know the girls are buying it, but not this girl. If they would have taken the quality up one level and maybe charged me $25 to maybe even $50 more, I would have been fine. I think the girls would have been fine with it. My assumption is that this consumer is willing to pay a little bit more for quality. Most people are not buying clothes at Target. So the people that you're getting are people who probably would pay more money. I would say I'm biased because I'm coming from pre-pandemic Target collaborations, which were always very high quality. In terms of quality, I don't know if it's a supply chain issue or just our new normal now that we are almost post-pandemic. Are we post-pandemic yet? Wherever we are in the panoramic is where we are, but I don't know if this is our new normal when it comes to quality. I hope not. I do still long for the glory days of high quality designer collaborations, but that's me. All right, so that was my rant about the current state of designer collaborations. So I know the girls like to tussle, and I did say a few things to shake the table. So let me know what you think. I made a video about how to ensure that you're always gonna get high quality clothes regardless of where you're shopping, and I'm gonna link that video here. All right. See you next time. Bye.